Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, December 11th, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Detroit Lions vs Minnesota Vikings. How far have the Lions come? Well, they are now a 2-point favorite over the division-leading Vikings in a mid-December game at home. The Lions' offense has been on fire, scoring 30 or more points in 3 out of their last 4 games. Jared Goff has been very good this season, and the Lions' two-headed RB attack of D'Andre Swift and Jamal Williams has given the Lions a much more balanced attack. Minnesota has been living the good life and pulling off close win after close win this season, but they have given up a ton of points in the process. The Lions are 5-2 Austrian shillings at home this season, despite going just 3-4 straight up. The 2 worst defenses in the NFL, in terms of yardage, will square off, and I'm shifting my bet onto a Lions team that has bought into their coach and need this win a heck of a lot more than the Vikings do to keep their playoff hopes alive. Take Detroit minus 2 points. These are quite literally the 2 worst defenses in the league by the numbers. They both know how to put points on the board but can't stop opponents from doing the same. Minnesota averages 64.0 plays per game on the road, the 11th most of any team. They're both in the top 14 in overall plays per game. I predict that this game will turn into a shootout and the total will get blown out of the water. Take the over 52 points. Buffalo Bills vs New York Jets. New York is fighting for relevancy and playoff positioning and faces an uphill battle in the season's final stretch. The loss to the Vikings hurt, but the Jets should be commended for their effort. Down 26 at halftime, New York pushed Minnesota to the brink, nearly pulling off the comeback victory with 1:43 remaining when quarterback Mike White passed to receiver Braxton Berrios on 4th and goal from the 1. The pass hit Berrios in the hands, but he bobbled and dropped the football, giving it back to Minnie. With 3 timeouts remaining, New York forced a 3-and-out, but its final drive fell short of the end zone. Buffalo's defense is elite, too, ranking top 10 in total yards surrendered and top 5 in both points allowed and rushing yards allowed per game. With 17 takeaways this season, it's also top 3 in takeaways per game, 1.7, and stout in the red zone. Buffalo's opponents are scoring touchdowns on 47.2% of their red zone trips, the 3rd lowest percentage in the league. Unfortunately, the Bills will be without star linebacker Von Miller, 8.0 sacks, for the rest of the season due to an ACL tear. Buffalo needs a better performance from Allen against New York than he had in the first matchup. It was the only game this season he failed to throw a touchdown pass, as he completed only 52.9% of his passes and tossed 2 interceptions. The Jets' defense held him to his 3rd worst QBR of the season, as well. The pressure New York sacked him 5 times clearly got to the 26-year-old, who has been sacked just 20 times by the rest of Buffalo's opponents. As a reference, Chicago's Justin Fields has been sacked 40 times this season, the most in the league. The Bills don't often get after the quarterback, ranking 14th in the NFL with 31.0 sacks. Without Miller, how effective will their pass rush be? Jets QB Mike White needs a reminder that being an NFL starting quarterback isn't as easy as he's made it look since taking over for Zach Wilson. The Bills have the 3rd most interceptions, 13, in the NFL, but it's going to take pressure to get White out of rhythm. Buffalo doesn't need to blow out the Jets, but to cover the 10-point spread, it can't let him get comfortable. New York failed to beat the spread in road losses against the Patriots and Vikings in recent weeks and now takes on the current Super Bowl favorites. Buffalo, averaging 6.2 yards per play on offense, should be able to take the early lead at home in the second matchup between these squads. I'll bet that Allen plays a cleaner game and that the Bills establish the run with rookie James Cook, who had a career-best 64 yards on 14 carries and 41 receiving yards last week. The Jets have been more interesting with White at QB, but this offense is still one of the NFL's worst on third down and in the red zone, where the Bills' defense lives up to expectations. The loss of Miller will serve as a rallying cry for a motivated Buffalo team capable of achieving its dream of winning the Super Bowl. I'll bet the home team wins and covers a 9.5-point spread. Take the Bills minus 9.5 points. The Jets are averaging 21 points per game and 20 points per game on the road. They averaged 15.6 points per game in their last 3 games against the Bills. With Buffalo giving up 15 points per game at home, the Jets will be held under their average in this game. The Bills are averaging 27.8 points per game and 34 points per game at home. They averaged 29.6 points per game in their last 3 games against the Jets. With New York giving up 17.7 points per game on the road, the Bills won't score enough points to push the score over the total. The Bills and Jets played under the total in 3 of their last 4 meetings. Take the under, 43 points. Pittsburgh Steelers vs Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore got off to a mediocre start this season, going 3-3 through its first 6 games. The Ravens have been fantastic since then, winning 5 of their last 6 games to take over first place in the AFC North. They picked up a win over Cincinnati in early October, giving them the current tiebreaker, as both teams are sitting at 8-4. The teams will meet again in the final week of the regular season in what could decide the division winner. Baltimore's lone loss since mid-October came in a 28-27 final at Jacksonville, as the Ravens blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. They bounced back with a 10-9 win against Denver last week, despite losing quarterback Lamar Jackson to a knee injury in the first quarter. Pittsburgh appeared as if it was going to have no shot at making a playoff appearance this season after going 2-6 through its first 8 games. The Steelers have responded with a strong 4-game stretch since their bye week, winning 3 of those 4 games. They beat New Orleans before losing to Cincinnati in a 37-30 final, but they bounced back with road wins at Indianapolis and Atlanta. Pittsburgh was a 2.5-point underdog in its win against the Colts and was a 1-point favorite in its victory against Atlanta. The Steelers have no wiggle room down the stretch due to their rough start to the season. There might not be a player more valuable to an offense in the NFL than Jackson, who is the team's leading passer and rusher. This will be Baltimore's first full game with him sidelined, so I have low expectations as far as their offense is concerned. They are facing a Pittsburgh run defense that has allowed just 1 scoring touchdown in its last 4 games, with the secondary intercepting 6 passes during that stretch. The Steelers have won 3 of their last 4 games and have suddenly breathed life into their playoff chances, so they should be fully motivated coming into this game. Baltimore will be fine even with a loss, especially knowing that Jackson should return in the next few weeks. The Ravens have only covered the spread twice in their last 8 games, making them a team to avoid right now. Take Pittsburgh minus 2 points. Baltimore is not a scoring machine, averaging 23.8 points per game, and the Ravens are allowing an average of 119.7 points per game. Pittsburgh is scoring an average of only 17.8 points per game and allows an average of 23.1 points per contest. The total has finished under in 7 of Baltimore's last 9 games overall, and in 5 of the last 7 that the Ravens have played against a team from the AFC North. The total has also finished under in 7 of Pittsburgh's last 9 home games. Take the under 37 points.